using hexi blocks as firelighters. We all know what they're like. They stink, they smell, but they do put a lot of heat out. Now, people say you can't light them with one of these, and it looks pretty true. But the key to getting a fire going, as most of you know, is the surface area of the combustible materials. With a solid block like that, you don't have much of, well, you've got a lot of surface area, but there's no air between the parts you're trying to catch fire or trying to set fire to. So there's two methods you can use. The first one, which is expensive in the long run, is to very gently scrape a small pile of shavings off of here, you have to do this gently because you don't want it going off prematurely, and then if you're lucky you can put it into one pile. Now what that's going to do is when I eventually strike this, if I can get it right first time, because this normally only works first time, when I eventually strike this, it should generate a massive amount of heat there. Nope, it's not going to do it today. But I think you guys will get the drift. So we'll give it one more go. And clean the top off. And like I say, it tears your ferro rod completely to pieces. Get out of the bin, cat. There is quite a trick to scraping a ferro rod without it doing that. As you can see, this method is particularly aggravating. Wouldn't want to try and do it in the cold, especially not when it's doing that all the time. In the cold and the wet, obviously that's when you need to be able to light a fire the most. This is going to take an awful lot of messing around. The quicker method I'll show you in a minute, but I think you guys probably got the gist of it by now. You scrape enough of this ferro rod off to create a really, really hot spot in the middle. The other way, you're going to love this, this is even easier. Take your knife, put it in the top, twiddle it around a bit. Right, you can see goddamn camera, there you go. We've got a pile of white powder on top of there. Don't sniff it, this is toxic. Now if we're lucky, it shouldn't take us more than a few strikes to get that white powder to light. And because that's sitting on top of a hexi block, that is going to set the hexi block on fire. Obviously I'm doing this indoors on the back of an old cutting board, so I'm not going to let it burn for too long. It is still burning. You probably can't see that it's burning, but you can see that it's burning because it's at the paper on fire. But that's a nice easy way to light a fire with a hexi blocks. I carry hexi blocks in all of my bags, all of my kit bags. I never go outside without at least one hexi block. They're tiny, and to be honest with you, to light a fire you only need a tiny bit of a hexi block. You could also scrape some of this off and that will should light just as easily, but obviously it's not going to burn as long as a hexi block does. There you go. doesn't take much to get a fire going. It's not some black art as a lot of people seem to realise. Well, there you go, guys. Keep a hexi block or part of a hexi block in your kit, in all your different kits. Not only is it good for one hexi block, is as far as my experience has taught me, is plenty to heat a tin of baked beans, or some ravioli, or curry, or basically whatever you want. Just always remember, when you're working with a tin of something and you're putting it over fire, crack the tin open first, otherwise you're going to find yourself with an exploding tin and hot beans everywhere. But one complete hexi block, so as you can see, a quarter of that's missing or a bit of that's missing. One complete hexi block will generally heat up a tin to boiling. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch, guys. Just a quick tip. You can use this with firelighters as well.